One of the great challenges for a home gardener is to grow a giant pumpkin. So today let's talk about growing a giant pumpkin. And I'm with Lincoln Mettler, who is a member of the Great Pacific Northwest Giant Pumpkin Growers Association. When do you start, Lincoln, this whole process of growing a giant pumpkin?
Well, it really starts in October when you start prepping the soil for the next year. You put your manures and things into the soil and get it ready, and then you start germinating the seeds, and I put them in the first week of May, and this is what they get to now.
Yeah, I want to tell our viewers that we're here in the late part of August. How large is this pumpkin?
This pumpkin is over 600 pounds now. It's only about 50 days old, so it still has about 30 days of growth left. It should add another 250 pounds before contest time.
Now, in this whole area, how many pumpkin plants do you have?
In this area right here is one pumpkin plant. This is a 45 by 45 area that just supports one pumpkin.
You gotta be kidding. And just the one pumpkin off of this one plant?
Well, there's two pumpkins on this vine, or on this plant, and one on either side of the plant. Normally, I would have only left one pumpkin, but they were growing nicely both together, so I left both of them on.
Now, tell our viewers, how often do you water this?
It's watered daily, and sometimes multiple times during the day, depending on the heat. As the heat goes up, the plants start to wilt, and if they're wilting, they're not growing. So there's a watering system automatically turns on and waters when it's too hot, and it may water as many as 5 to 6 times a day.
And the purposes for the hoops?
The hoops is just to keep them from getting sunburned. A blue tarp is put over the top, and a cover is put on them so they don't get sunburned. Anywhere they get sunburned, you can see the little scabs.
Oh.
They get scabbed up, and then that gives you a chance of them cracking.
Now, you say there's still a possibility of this gaining 250 pounds or up to that.
Yeah.
How can that happen in such a short period of time?
Well, at the maximum time these ones were growing, they were growing at about 30 pounds a day. Last week, they put on about 185 pounds in 1 week.
Oh, my God.
So as long as we have good weather, they'll keep growing. They're getting fairly closer to being mature, so they'll slow down a lot now. But they'll keep it up for the next, at least until contest time.
Now, how often do you fertilize it?
Well, there's a lot of fertilizer put in, and there's a lot of fertilizer on them when they're young. Now we just keep it check. I check the soil and have it sent in, and when I start to drop on whatever I drop, I fertilize. I fertilize at least 3 times a week, though.
Oh, wow. You know, it's really important that the folks that, the various growers of pumpkins, in fact, don't share their information, and you've given us a lot of information. But in the Pacific Northwest, for example, there is the Pacific Northwest Giant Pumpkin Growers Association, and in the credits we will give you their telephone number. But you'll get a book, or you can get a book and a video and information on how to grow these giant pumpkins. Thanks very much, Lincoln.